I'm in a place of quiet confidence today. It's a really nice place to be. The best part about this space I'm in today is not related to anything outside of me. That's really exciting for me. I have a couple of struggles that I'm dealing with right now, a couple of situations that trigger me, and the connection I've made with myself and the results, just safety and security of that connection has allowed me to quickly notice when I'm triggered and see my stuff and not react from that place. And it's getting me different results. I'm not getting sucked into the triggers. I'm in a quiet place of confidence, and like I've said before, things are temporary, so this could pass too, but that is the one thing that's becoming pretty consistent. There'll be chaotic moments, but I come right back to that place of quiet confidence because I've got evidence. The mind has evidence. And I know most of the stuff that happens outside of me that upsets me is really just coming from a place inside. And when you're in the middle of the uncomfortable, the pain, death of the ego, because death of the ego is painful. You know, when you're going through the death of the ego and you're in pain, don't let the ego convince you that it's not working because you're in pain. Because the ego is very, very convincing. We are very convinced by our thoughts, very much so. We will we'll fill in the blanks about somebody based on the ego trying to be comfortable or make sense of something, and we just totally created something that's completely not even true. And then we start relating to that person from that place. And then we're creating a reality that's not even a reality. So know that when you're uncomfortable, something's trying to come through. Something's trying to change in you. It's creating an expansiveness. And society has taught us and is teaching us more and more every day that when you're uncomfortable or you're in pain, something's wrong. I don't believe that anymore. I think something's right. Something's fixing to change. There's fixing to be another level of awareness and expansion. Something's going to be released. I've released a lot of stuff in the last couple of weeks, and I've really stayed committed to the process more than I ever have in my entire life. I've stayed in the club. And like I was talking about yesterday, setting the intention and living from that intention, that's exactly what I'm doing. I had 2 separate incidences yesterday that really triggered me, but only for a moment. I've got 2 very, very important people to me in my life right now who are trying to find their way out of their muck, their own muck. And they're very uncomfortable. And they're like a fish out of water, and they're flailing around. And they want to make it my fault. And I was really good at that, about making my stuff somebody else's fault. And I'm so glad that I don't anymore, because you know what's really great about not making your stuff somebody else's fault? If your stuff, you're upset or you're hurt or you're mad or you're uncomfortable and it's somebody else's fault, you're giving your power to that person. Now you have to wait for that person to change for you to feel better. But once you realize it's all your stuff, it's all inside you, it's how you're processing, it's how you're perceiving it, it's coming from your junk, your conditioning, your childhood, then all the power to change it is in your hands. How exciting is that? You can change your own experience. You're not waiting for somebody else to do something so that you can be happy or comfortable. And it might sound like it's easy right now, but if you guys have been following me, you know it's not easy. You know that I've been struggling, and I might struggle again today. I don't know. But in both of the incidences that happened yesterday, and I'm super excitable right now, am I not? Because it is exciting, because I moved through the other side for a minute. That doesn't mean I'm not going to go back in the dark, but right now I'm on the light side of things, and I can see it. I'm having this huge aha moment, and this freedom and this release. So in one of the incidences, something would be said. Somebody was talking to me from my old story, the old me, the old way of dealing with things, and that's their perception of me, so that's just who I am. I was really triggered, but it was like moments, like literally just a matter of seconds. And I could see that was their stuff. It was their stuff. And that I wanted this conversation to be healing. And I wanted to bring awareness to it. And I wanted it to be a different experience than it's ever been in the past. And so that stuff popped into my mind immediately. Okay. Ask the person questions about this particular thing, not as though you necessarily agree with them, but as though you have a curiosity about how they came about that belief. And then give them evidence of how that is a false belief, without getting all twisted up, without saying, F you. That's what I wanted to do in that triggered moment. You know, fuck you, I'm not even talking to you. You don't know me. And the conversation didn't get out of hand. I didn't feel triggered by it. There was definitely growth in it for me. I'm thinking there was growth in it for the other person as well. But I didn't own any of the stuff that was being thrown at me. I sat in a place of curiosity about how that person came about that perception. And then I talked to him about that perception. And it really is coming from this place of connection with myself. And it's coming from a place of being okay, being uncomfortable. Because I was uncomfortable for a moment. That's a lot of habitual stuff come up. And the second incident was not about me, but about them. You know, they weren't like, you're this, you're that. They were lost in their own stuff. And it was triggering me. I was making it about me. And I very quickly got out of that too. And just allowed them the space to be wherever they are, doing whatever they want, and not being in that space with them, because I know that I will become triggered if I stay in that space with them, and then I can no longer hold a space for us. I can no longer stay connected to the commitment we've made to each other, because we would both be triggered in that moment. So I knew I needed to remove myself from that situation and let that situation play out however it was going to play out for that person, and just hold a space. Hold a space for that person to come back to. And I don't know if that's why they came back to me, but I know when they did come back to me, I was in a good space. I was still in a good space because I was aware that I had put myself in, I was in a situation that was triggering me. And I took myself out of the situation, looked at why it was triggering me, worked through that stuff, and then went back to that space of holding space for us. So even though it's a continual process and it's ever changing, it's beneficial. It's really beneficial. And I'm seeing that when something requires me to surrender, that I'm going to expand. I'm going to grow. I'm going to let go of an old story of who I am and how I operate and how I move through the world and what's owed to me, and just end up in a space of curiosity, like, what is this going to bring? Where am I going to go because of this? And I get excited. I'm excited right now. And I feel really safe all at the same time. I feel really safe that I have that place here. We all want, and some of us, there are a few of us, I know a couple of people who, had wonderful parents that really loved them unconditionally. And so they were allowed to be themselves and not worry about something not being good enough about them, or something being wrong with them, or them losing love because they didn't behave a certain way. There's a huge majority of us who never got that. Never, ever were loved unconditionally. And when I talk about loving somebody unconditionally, I don't believe that very many people understand the depth of unconditional love. There's still always conditions. Say, for example, your partner's like, oh, I love you unconditionally. Oh, yeah? If I called you ugly every day, would you still love me? No. Because now you're being rude. There's a condition. It's a condition. Loving somebody unconditionally means really your love for them doesn't change based on anything they do or say. It doesn't grow and it doesn't diminish. It stays the same. It's not based on what they do or how they make you feel. Eckhart Tolle talks about fish love, which is great. And I'm finding out that there was a huge part of my life where I had fish love for myself. And what fish love is he tells a story about, going to lunch with someone, and the guy's talking about the fish that he's eating and how much he loves it. Oh, I love this fish. And Eckhart Tolle's like, why did you kill it? Why are you eating it? If you loved it, you wouldn't want to do anything to it but let it be exactly what it is. So basically the point that he was making is fish love is when you love something because of the way it makes you feel. And I think the world's full of fish love, and I had fish love for myself. True unconditional love is not picking a flower because you think it's beautiful and you don't want to affect it or change it. You just want to let it be exactly what it is. Fish love is loving something because of the way it makes you feel, the purpose it serves in your life, what it gives to you. And I definitely a lot of fish love for myself. So just know that if you stay committed to the process, that you really can become that unconditional love for yourself. That's exactly what I'm that person in my life now. And I know that no matter what I do or what I'm experiencing or what is going on in my life, that I'm there for me unconditionally. When I flounder around and act like an idiot, I still pick myself up and I'm like, it's okay. I love you. Meditation can be that. That connection to self can be that place of unconditional love and support so that you can move through the world in a heart space instead of a head space, in a responsive way instead of a reactive way. I guess that's really all I've got today. I notice I'm at like the 15-minute mark again, which reminds me of something else that I was thinking about last night when I was separating myself from the situation that was triggering me. I went, on a walk and very deep connection with myself during that, and it was just amazing, and I was hanging out with the most supportive person in my life. I totally forgot what I was going to say. I totally forgot what my point was. I don't know. Completely escapes me. Just know that you guys can get here. You can be your own best friend. You can be your own space of unconditional love. And support yourself through all of it. And when I'm coming from this observer mindset where I'm just observing my reactions to things and my triggers and all of that, that I can actually move from that place of awareness instead of reacting from that place of being triggered. I hope everybody has a great day. Love yourselves unconditionally. And I'll talk to you guys later.